we welcome you to an era of second chances here in the PVL. A second chance to make it to the quarterfinals after Vanny Gandler and the Cignal HD Spikers. A heartbreaking loss to Galleries. In the meantime, there's Iris Tolenada and the Capital1 Solar Spikers. They too are looking for their first win since 2024. And so we resume our second game here in the Phil Sports Arena in Pasig City for our play-in tournament here in the PVL. Thank you so much for joining us on Pilipinas Live, One Sports, right here on Cignal TV. My name is Jaime Escalon. My partner for today, Noreen Go. And of course, at courtside, we have Kyla Castillo. Kyla, let me ask you this. Naniniwala ka ba sa second chances?
Actually, Jaime, hindi lang dalawa eh. Multiple eh.
Multiple chances talaga. And we will see them today to get that second chance to make it to the quarterfinals, Noreen, because, well, two teams coming off a loss, but big opportunity here to prove their character in our play-in tournament.
Yeah, you know, throughout the conference, we've been talking about the format and the second chance, like you said, and we are living it right now. And for the 6 teams that lost in that round, this is the final chance.
We see the qualifying round, what took place. Well, 6 teams, Noreen, they've made it to the next round as we rewind this, but just really good opportunity here for Capital1 and Cignal, especially for Cignal. They really talked about the youth nga of this team and gaining that much experience here in our play-in.
Yeah, I mean, just to recap, no, we saw the graphics. So Creamline defeated Nextled, Petrogras defeated Capital1, that's why they're here. Galleries defeated Cignal, that's the biggest upset. Akari defeated Farfetch. These are the 2 matches that actually the lower seed defeated the higher seed. And then PLDT defeated Zeus, Chocomucho defeated Jerry. That's where all the teams are now.
Of course, the Galleries Cignal game, that is what everyone was talking about last week. But, you know, let's talk about the groupings here because we have 2 groups. Kanina nga nakita natin na Cheritigo defeated Nextled, and this is our first game in Group 1 of this play-in.
Yeah, so Group 1 is Cignal, Zeus, and Capital1. Group 2, Farmfresh, Cheritigo, and Nextled. Why is this so? That's the rule. I mean, that's a part of the format, no? That Group 1 will comprise racks 7, 10, and 11. Group 2, racks 8, 9, and 12. The winner of Group 1 will take the 7th seed. And then the winner of Group 2 will take the 8th seed. That is the rule. That is the law. No question. No more questions.
And the best rule as well is try to get those 2 wins
Yes.
para sure na makapunta sa quarterfinals. Alright, let's talk about Capital1 Solar Spikers. Their last win was in 2024, November 30th. So they're in a bit of a funk here, Noreen, but they're looking for stability. Who else to find that stability under Coach Roger except the players? Of course, the players na nandun na sa wing niya na matagal-tagal, and that is Jarel Singh.
So it goes to show how hungry they are. You did say, what November 30, 2024? This is a second chance, a new beginning. And you talked about Jarel Singh. You know, her presence really will matter a lot. Not much of the points. She complements with 10 points, but she's not actually the first option. However, for me, aside from defense, is really her leadership, her experience, and that's what she's going to bring today and hopefully get their first win here in the play-in.
Matagal na rin sila magkasama ni Coach Roger. So, you know, Roger just trusts Jarel Singh, one of the main leaders for Capital1. But speaking of leadership, in a game like this, a pressure-packed play-in tournament, you need players who thrive under pressure. Buti na lang para sa Cignal HD Spikers, I want to introduce you, Noreen, to Jel Cayuna.
You know, for the fans, of course, Jel Cayuna has been synonymous with great setting in our country. Although they lost, she tried her best. You know, you can only feel for her in that match against Gallery. She had 8 points, I think 4 blocks, 21 excellent sets. However, you're as good as your last game, we have to say. In today's game, we're sure she's going to continue to try to find these opportunities for her teammates. But also, like Jarel saying, leadership is going to be key for Jel Cayuna.
And of course, wherever Jel goes, that is where Cignal HD Spikers will go. Which is why we will go naman para kay Kyla Castillo. Nakitsakahan nga na kanina ang Cignal and Capital1. What's going on? How are they feeling about this play-in tournament?
Well, hi, Noreen. Let me just start by saying na alam niyo one thing na hindi man necessarily lumalabas sa stat sheets, pero it could make or break the game for these 2 teams. It's mental toughness na common denominator sa lahat ng usapan namin kanina. Especially with Jel Cayuna, who shared with me na given nga yung situation nila, no? Kung dati, kung napagod ka or off game ka, pwede kang umupo saglit sa bench, magpahinga, huminga, and then you could come back and then make an impact. But this time, wala. It's all you. So you have to deliver, and off game ka man, you have to see things through and tatagan mo na lang talaga yun. Actually, same goes for Jarrell Singh and the Capital1 Solar Spikers. Heartbreak after heartbreak, what they're banking on is their sisterhood na lang, the bond that they've built throughout this rocky road of a conference that they've endured.
Mental toughness, Noreen, will be a key factor here for both teams.
But at least though, when you hear the interviews, no, at least you feel that they're positive. You know, they're positive coming into the play.
Spirit.
Yeah.
Speaking of positive, two players were quite positive in that last game, and they are our premier matchup. That's Leila Cruz, one of our top rookies, and Vanny Gandler, number 8 in scoring, number 6 in receiving. What are you looking for them? What are you looking from them, rather, Noreen, for today's game?
First, when I was reading, no, Leila Cruz against Vanny Gandler, obviously youth. Youth is part of the equation, and it's great for these teams that they're banking on their youth. So obviously they're looking also to the future of the programs of both these teams. But for Leila Cruz, you want consistency. Vanny Gandler has been consistent ever since she joined Cignal. So I think it's really a matter of how their mindset is, you know, what they learn in the past games and how will they apply it into today's game.
You know what, Noreen, I am wondering if our two youthful stars have had time to reflect, but I think Kyla Castillo just has the answer for that.
Yeah, that's right, Jaime. Well, for Leila Cruz, no, ang kanyang mindset for today is back to zero tayo. So leveled ang playing field. Same with Cignal. Meron silang chance na, well, buhay pa sila eh, but the crucial thing is they gotta act like it. They have to play with energy, with enthusiasm, and Leila Cruz, along with Roma Maydor, the rookies of the Capital1 Solar Spikers, will lead the charge if Capital1 Solar Spikers wants to make a change in this game. And as for the Cignal HD Spikers, for Vanny Gandler, I asked her, meron bang changes in terms of mental preparation, things like that? And she told me, personally, no. But what she did tell me was the big difference in Cignal in terms of pressure. During the eliminations round daw, they were playing with so much energy, no pressure at all. Kaya ang ganda ng pinapakita nila. But something changed during that galleries. Once they entered the court daw, nag-sink in yung tension, yung pressure na, oh, merong expectations na sa atin and we have to deliver. But the sad thing is they weren't able to make the necessary adjustments. So these two teams, Capital1 Solar Spikers and Cignal HD Spikers, both teams gustong bumawi, both looking out to, you know, get into the play-in tournament. And same for us, we're always looking out for you, our lively fans here in the PVL. We actually have a question for you, and if you scroll right below your stream on the Pilipinas Live app, you will see our question of the day, which is, which spiker will have a big game offensively? Which will it be Capital1 Leila Cruz or Cignal HD Spikers Vanny Gandler?
I like that question because it comes with pressure then, Noreen, which spiker will go through that pressure here in our play-in tournament.
For me, I'd like to say pressure really comes from within. You know, there's nothing to fear but fear itself. We've heard that line, but it's true, and whoever can overcome that will actually have the advantage.
All right, let's get this going. The stage is set for the Capital1 Solar Spikers versus the Cignal HD Spikers right here on Cignal TV.
Hi Roma, hear me out. One of the things na I want to improve on this conference is to build pa my confidence and hopefully ma-apply ko siya through kung ano yung pinaghandaan namin. I feel like kulang pa. I need more experience and through that experience, mag-gain ko yung confidence. So I need to work more, work hard. I think yung kailangan i-improve pa ng team is paano kami mag-work together. For sure, gagawa namin ng paraan to gel more inside the court. After namin mag-training camp, nakita ko paano yung team and hindi lang team but individually paano yung teammates ko, yung mga struggles nila inside and outside the court. Yun yung isang factor na I feel like mas nagpalakas sa amin kasi we know yung backgrounds and yung pinanghuhugutan namin. We can fight for each other. Hi Roma, I promise to always give you the 110% every day, every training, every game. And I will make sure that hindi matatapos yung career mo nang wala kang napupuntahang maganda. Nakaka-touch ka. Good job. Yun pa rin yung promise ko sa self ko this 2025, to be consistent and to be more, more disciplined as a player. And I feel like yun din pa din yung promise ko talaga na hindi ako aalis sa career ko sa volleyball hanggat hindi ko nakakamit yung goal ko and yung purpose ko.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the PhilSports Arena in Pasig City and the 2025 season All-Filipino Conference of the Premier Volleyball League, the heart of volleyball. This is phase 3 of our conference, the play-in tournament, a last chance to qualify for the playoffs where each team must win both matches in this round if they want to stay in the running. For match number 74, our Group 1 contenders, our Capital1 Solar Spikers, and their challengers, our Cignal HD Spikers. As we present our athletes, may I request our drummers to please refrain from beating on your drums. Thank you. Presenting our national officials for this match. First referee, Mr. Bobby Celso. Second referee, Mr. Joffer Educado. Calling on our starting lineup from our Capital1 Solar Spikers. Let's begin with their team captain. She wears jersey number 14, May Jennifer Macatuno. At number 5, Maria Lourdes Clemente de Guzman. At number 6, Trisha May Genesis. Wearing jersey number 15, Heather Ann Ginoo. At number 16, Noriel Julia Ipa. And at number 22, Leila Jane Cruz. Starting libero is number 19, Roma May Dormal. Head coach, Mr. Roger Gorayan. Calling on our Cignal HD Spikers. Let's begin with jersey number 2, Rosalind Doria Aquino. At number 4, Jovelyn Fernandez. Wearing jersey number 5, Vanessa Gandler. Number 6, Maria Rochelle Lalong Isip. At number 11, Jacqueline Acuna. And number 22, Maria Angelica Cayuna. Starting libero is our team captain, number 16, Dawn Nicole Katindik. Head coach, Mr. Cesael, Coach Shaq De Los Santos. This match is under the supervision and regulation of the Games and Amusement Board.
Let's take a look at the starters for the Capital1 Solar Spikers, and we see that Ginoo will get the start along with Genesis. So Jorel Singh, we were looking at her, we were finding her, she's not in uniform. So that's going to be big there for Coach Roger. As for Cignal, that's their starting lineup. Joel Fernandez, nice to see him healthy here for the HD Spikers. Of course, they will be led by Don Macandili Katindig and Jel Cayuna. Top setter and digger here in our tournament so far. As we are in the Phil Sports Arena in Pasig City, Jaime Escalon with Noreen Go and Kyla Castillo at the sidelines. Well, quick changes there for Capital One.
But we have to mention all these teams have gone through 11 matches in the first round to determine seedings, and then the knockout, and then the losers come in the play-in tournament. So they've played a lot of games. For me, the coaches have seen who they can use. Of course, still, they will experiment because they, like Capital One, I feel is in the rebuilding stage. Cignal lost a couple of players, so I feel they're also trying to learn. So that's why we're seeing a lot of changes.
May Makatuno also starting for Capital One. That's her second straight start here this season. Gandler to serve.
Yeah, but you said May Makatuno. She's no stranger to Philippine volleyball. I mean, you know, she hails from Adamson. She played for a couple of teams also in the PVL.
Leila Cruz. And that one is too long. Leila Cruz, 16 points in that last game. A big confidence booster for her coming into today's game. Vanny Gandler as well.
Yeah, that's why we mentioned this at the top of the coverage. This matchup, Leila Cruz against Gandler, that's going to be one fun matchup to watch.
Makatuno, tight. And Leila Cruz just manages to find a way.
Yeah, you know, you see that she is taller than, let's say, Fernandez, Cayuna. I think a bit shorter than Cunha. But what I'm saying is she has the height. She has to use that. You know, when they're jousts at the net, she has to actually have the advantage.
They serve it to Katindig. Cayuna, the setup to the back row. Gandler. And that's out of bounds.
It's like pretty, that hit was very tentative, right? You can sense very tentative. That's not what you want to see here in this play-in tournament. You want every point, every match is really, the players play with conviction.
The setup to the quick. They will counter with Ipak. Cayuna this time to the open. Makatuno to the back row. Ginoo was blocked.
Oh, still alive.
Looking to put it in. Ishii. And that point will go to Capital One.
Well, that's the longest rally so far, and if that's any indication of how this match will go, Jaime will be in for a long one.
We target Gandler again. This time to the right pin. Fernandez with a cross-court kill. A perfect time to add Kyla Castillo back to the group chat. Kyla?
Hi, Noreen. Disappointed is the word for Coach Shaq after that game against Galleries Tower High Risers. Radio silence nga raw sa dugout. Walang gustong magsalita. Wala man lang magkatinginan, mga nakayuko. Pero after that game, sabi ni Coach Shaq sa kanyang sarili, anong gagawin ko? Magagalit ba ako? Malulungkot o i-absorb ko tong nangyari? He opted for the latter. Full acceptance in order to move forward. For Coach Shaq, ang biggest strength ng Cignal ay sila-sila lang din. Kaya naman binalikan niya ang 5 games nila na bumabakbak given their lineup. But he was honest to say na nakalog na rin siguro dala ng pagod at rotation. Nevertheless, Cignal is here to show that they might be outnumbered, but they will never be outgunned. Hi, Noreen.
Grabe yun, si Kyla. They may be outnumbered but never outgunned. But interesting yung radio silence na yun rin, no?
That goes to show their disappointment. And I guess also they're searching for answers that they can actually give or provide.
This time, Cayuna providing for Fernandez with a miss hit.
Outside shot.
Again,
Fernandez.
another tentative hit there, this time by Fernandez. You know, I feel for Cignal, there is this challenge within them. After they lost to Gallery, there's doubt, obviously, questions in their mind. But then you still have the second chance you just mentioned in the pregame, the second chance in the play-in tournament. You need to respond. You know, you cannot leave it to what if, what should we have done.
Right now, possession signal to the back row, Vanny. And Vanny Gandler not hesitating for that one finally.
Yep, that's a better hit, obviously. More forceful, more... Again, there is conviction. That's what you want to see, actually, from both these teams.
That's going to be our word of the day. Conviction.
Conviction.
I like that. 5 serving 4 now.
Good pass.
Makatuno to Cruz.
Cruz
With
off the hand
conviction.
again.
With conviction.
My ball.
Well, she has to start out strong. We have to say Leila Cruz for Capital One. And yeah, I mean, that's a good hit. 1-on-1.
2 points now for Leila Cruz.
Capital.
Set to serve. Not the best of receives. The toss to Ishi. Lalong isip. Was there a check ball? First referee saying no. But we have our first challenge of the game.
Yeah, block touch is a challenge.
This will be our first challenge of the game by Cignal.
But what I'm noticing, Jaime, is pretty long hits by Cignal early on, so they're relying a lot on the block touches, or maybe getting some fingertips of the blockers. You want to see those sharper angles.
If you're Capital One, you're looking for your first win of 2025 here. It would be a perfect time to get that.
Oh yeah,
As there is a block touch.
good challenge. No, but for me, for Capital One, you have to think you have nothing to lose, right? I mean, you didn't have the best of the first round.
Challenge is successful.
One win,
HD
was it one
Spikers.
win, right?
Yes, that's
One
right.
win, right? You said dated November 30, 2024. So coming here, you have everything to gain, so you just want to fight it out. Every point at that.
Makatuno sending it to Genesis. Checked at the net. Another try for Trisha. That one sailing out of bounds.
Yeah. After getting blocked the first time, trying to dodge the blocker's hands, but did not clip the line.
There's Ishi Lalong Isip. Got player of the week. First rookie to get that. What a season it's been.
I mean, we have to say she had big shoes to fill, but yeah, she's playing well.
Leila from the back. Could not find the line.
Shot. Cruz.
And that will take us to our first technical timeout. Cignal up by 3.
Na-miss niyo ba yung game namin? Kung na-miss niyo, subscribe na to our YouTube channel. Subscribe na!
Arena Plus, Astig sa Sports. Back here in the Phil Sports Arena over in Pasig City. Cignal currently up by 3. Oh, we have a little trivia here. Top scorers. Cignal defeated Capital1 in the preliminaries, led by who else but their super rookie in Ishilalong Isip Cruz at 6 points as well. Gotta love the confidence Ishilalong Isip is showing. You know, she was good in the UAAP. Now she's proving that she could be great here in the PVL.
Well, once you step into this arena, the limelight of the PVL, you forget about, right, what school you're from. You're playing for your mother team, and it's what you bring to your squad that will give you playing time, right? And you want playing time.
As Clemente de Guzman hitting it off the block for that point.
You know, for me, Jaime, this girl, the one serving, Trisha Genesis, I think she has to come out swinging in this play-in tournament. We've seen her throughout the years, how much power she can, she can put in her hit. We want to see that in this play-in tournament.
And look, here's another player we talked about in the pregame, Noreen. Just someone who just thrives under pressure. That's Jelka Yuna for you.
I don't think she actually knows what pressure is.
Yeah. Not in her vocab.
Yeah.
In the meantime, this will be a free ball for Cignal. The set will go to Vanny Gandler with the put down.
What a play there by Cignal. Great set by Cayuna.
This spike of the set is brought to you by Duncan Pasalubong ng Bayan.
Look at that. Just one blocker and it's the shorter setter. May makatuna at that. So Vanny Gandler just takes advantage. You're going to expect a lot of that from Jel Cayuna, those opportunities.
Misreceived. Bumped to Heather Ginoo. Ball is kept in play. Vanny dug by Dormal. Makatuno will set to Heather off speed. The chase by Vanny. The free ball given by Ishi.
Chance.
Here comes Heather. Scoring off the block.
Well, showing us their version of a combination play, Capital1. You want to go to that more as well because you want to create your own opportunities.
Heather Ginoo this conference is full of good games. Scored 20 points in one of her games. Vanny in the meantime. Makatuno will go quick to Ipak. Nice save by Ishi. Vanny, IQ play.
Yeah. I mean, her momentum was taking her close to the net, but she was able to push it and clean.
Point number 3 now for Vanny Gandler. And now Jel Cayuna and Cignal with a full front line.
Great serve.
To the slide, Ipak was blocked.
And here says Gandler to Ipak.
Vanny Gandler with back-to-back points. This block of the set is brought to you by East West Bank, the official bank of the PVL All-Filipino Conference. Timeout is called here.
Bagal ng play, ibigay mo sa kanya, di nakaabang doon yung blocker. Ikaw naman nakita mo na yung block nandoon huwag mo na itutuloy. Sabihin, huwag mo nang paluin ng pag-ganon. Pwede naman mag-down the line, nakaka-cross court siya Kailangan kailangan maka-receive Pag hindi ko na receive, natutodas tayo dyan, hindi tayo makaka-atake.
What's up tayo, what's up?
Very detailed instructions there by Coach Roger. Right now, they find themselves down by 5 early on.
Yeah, I think also Coach Rogers just reminding the girls, I mean, don't hit into the blockers. You have to play it smart.
Cruz from the back. Nice dig. They will counter with Vanny Gandler going down the line.
Why not? Why not set it to that girl with a hot hand? Vanny Gandler just delivering for Cignal.
Radio silent daw sila pero nag-iingay na si Vanny Gandler set 1 pa lang. Unfortunate there for Jel Cayuna on that service error.
You know, not to take anything away from May Makatuno, we saw a couple of rallies when she was left by her lonesome to defend at the net. I think it may be a good time for Coach Roger to try to bring in Tolenada, which is the taller setter.
Acuna going drop. Ginoo, a high set for her. Nice cover. Cruz from the other side.
Hit the tape.
That one straight to the net.
Yeah, that's one thing you need, or she needs to correct, really, her consistency, because talent is undeniable, Jaime, but you want her to play in a consistent basis.
There was Iris Tolenada. Had limited minutes in that last game.
But throughout the first round, she started, yeah?
Makatuno. Not there, covered. Fernandez finding the spot.
Yeah, I like seeing Fernandez in the starting unit of Cignal. We saw that. I mean, she's a great complement to Vanny Gandler. Nothing flashy, just effective.
Cruz tried to tip it over. Makatuno now to the back row. Genesis too strong.
Yeah. She lacked that snap of the wrist.
16, Cignal. 8.
But you know, that's a preview of what I was saying, the power that one Shisha Genesis can generate.
So we won't head to our technical timeout just yet. There's a challenge here.
A challenge on the floor by Capital.
This will be a challenge on Capital 1.
What is it? Lock touch or ball in, ball out?
I believe it's ball in, ball out challenge here for Trisha, who's still yet to score, but you're looking for her. Oh, that's in.
Ah, good challenge.
Ball is in.
So now you're getting warmed up. Capital, you're getting Genesis part of the equation in your offense. You want to give her more chances, get her hot.
Unfortunately there for Heather Ginoo in Capital 1. The service error, so leads us to our second technical timeout here.
Bitin ba kayo sa games? Watch all the replays on PVL YouTube channel. Subscribe!
SB Finance, ang BFF na malalapitan. Back after that second technical timeout. Cignal HD Spikers still up. And what are you looking for Capital 1 right here, Noreen?
I think enough with trying to play it safe. I feel that they're playing it safe here at the start of the first set. Enough of that. Again, the play-in tournament, you're just each team has 2 games. It's a must-win, you know. If you split your games, you're hoping another team would do the same and you have better quotient. But of course, you want to avoid that. So for Capital, you want to see that fight in them, that that
Giggle.
Diba? I mean, we don't see it. Too safe, a bit too safe for me.
Let's see if after that second technical timeout, may konting giggle na dito ang Capital 1. In the meantime, oh, nice soft touch by Doria Aquino.
Doria's telling us, what giggle? There's no need for that. I will show you finesse. Look at this tip. Perfect placement.
And Cignal finds themselves up big here. 17 serving 9.
Oh, what a serve.
Makatuno back set. Cruz from the opposite side, and she was stuffed.
Yeah, I mean, what Cignal's doing right also here in the first set, they're just playing basic volleyball, right? I'll defend, I'll read the opponents, 1, 2, 3, jump. And they get the block. So it's very basic, which is a good sign for Coach Shaq.
+1.
3-point there for
Solar
Capital One.
Spikers.
That service error. So now Julia Ipak will be serving.
Yeah, that's one player also needs to make her presence felt. Julia Ipak, we've seen her when she was in university. We know she has a lot of talent.
Makatuno putting it up from the back row. Ginoo striking. Katindig to Ishi. Straight to Ipak. Makatuno will set for Trisha Genesis.
Oh, good dig.
Dolphin dive by Lalong Isip. Chance ball for Capital One. Makatuno opting for the middles, and it's still in play. Good rally we have here.
Yeah,
Makatuno this time. Back to Clemente de Guzman, and she will score.
Oh, you like that from Capital One. It was a good rally, but it came in their favor. You know, they fought for that point.
Ano rin yun yung mga momentum building points no,
Yeah.
from rallies.
That's what their fans are hoping. It's a start.
They target Vanny. Doria Aquino covered. The setup to the opposite side. Checked at the net.
Chance for a Cignal.
What a tempo play. Doria Aquino starting to heat up here late in this set number 1.
Oh, you've seen a lot of that throughout the years. Doria Aquino and Jel Cayuna. So they can actually execute that with their eyes closed.
How?
Looks like there's a timeout here by Coach Roger. Why don't we take a listen in? They're down by 8.
Oh, bantayan yung maigi, i-coverage yung maigi, lalo na to si Robby. Oh. Robby, okay ka lang? Are you with us?
Yes.
Ayos. Lusot-lusutan na naman yung tingin mo eh. Sige lang, paluan nyo lang ng paluan, set mo ng maayos. Huwag kayong magmadali sa pagpalo. Nauuna kayo dun sa ball.
Sige, let's go, let's go! Go lang, go lang.
Santa ka, Robby, baka ano?
Kapitan! One!
Tinatanong niya si Rovi Estrella. Are you with us, Noreen? Are you with us?
That's so not Coach Roger. So hopefully the girls got some sort of comic relief there.
Just to keep things light here. Combination play. There we go. Coming from the timeout for Trisha Genesis.
Exclamation point, 1, 2, 3. That's what we're saying. She can pack so much power. You just want to see her do it. And finally, she gets a point for Capital One.
Cayuna just sending it over. Makatuno will toss to Trisha. Katindig. What a dig. Lalong Isip approaches. Good save by Heather. Genesis na naman.
Genesis breaks the ball.
Someone has swarmed up pretty well.
19.
Back-to-back points for Trisha Genesis. And for me, Jaime, what's important really is you're seeing that confidence in her game.
Ask and you shall receive, Noreen. You were asking for those swings.
It's just that also, you and I, we watched and covered a lot of games. We know what these girls can do.
Neutralized at the net. Regalo for Doria Aquino.
13.
Yeah, that's a no-no. If you have Doria Aquino at the net, you give her a free ball, an overpass, she will take advantage. And no reaching beyond the net.
Doria Aquino now with 4 points. Still a comfortable lead here for Cignal, up by 7. Bit of a brief pause there.
What?
And I believe medyo na-ice na si Ishi after that pretty long pause we had.
Capital One's got to thank the first referee for that.
Got a substitution here. That's Alvarez inside the game for the first time.
Shola Alvarez, I mean, they need her firepower. Heather Ginoa, a bit of a quiet start here.
Vanny
Ball is out.
is trying to target that deep corner,
20.
but won't get it. So Capital One stringing a couple of points here, which is why Cignal will be calling for a timeout as the lead has been down to 5. Why don't we take a listen in here?
Yung block natin, okay yung timing. Ang problema, naka-atras. Kailangan bago nila paluin, naka-atras na lang. Okay? Sige. Pasa lang ulit, tuloy lang. Tapos atake ng maganda.
Sino pala yung stroke nila?
Easy, bawi ka, bawi ka. Doon yung ano ng press, oh. Adjust. Saka pag si Genesis, mababa lang yung lalo. Let's go. End game.
And may mga adjustments na for Trisha Genesis who really sparked this run na rin.
Yeah. I mean, they're just down by 5. If you look at it, you did say they stringed up a couple of points here. Now the challenge is with Genesis at the back, who's going to take over?
Gandler flying in. Dug by Rivera. Makatuno will set to Shola Alvarez. Straight from the bench.
Well, you know, Coach Roger knows his players. You know, any given moment, if you put somebody in, he trusts that player to deliver.
Just like that, the lead has been cut down to 4. Service ace for Trisha Genesis.
Boy, she's doing a bit of everything for Capital One.
Cignal. TikTok. Abil in.
Judith Abel in to replace Lalong Isip, obviously for defensive purposes as well.
The biggest lead was 9 Noreen. They cut this lead down to 3. Momentum on the side of Capital One. Here comes Makatuno. A little low there. Kayuna bumps to Vanny Gandler with a cross-court kill.
Cross-court shot.
Boy, I mean, did you see that? She didn't really have the proper approach. Just step back a little. Okay, it's time to hit. And look at that angle.
Much needed point for Cignal as well.
Oh, yeah. Oh, what a serve.
Alvarez approaching. This time to the back row, Genesis. Covered at the net. The chase and the free ball.
Oh, overpass.
And Capital One.
Double touch.
I guess you could call it a freebie there for Capital One.
3 point. Mad scramble on the side of Cignal.
Yes. For Cap.
Short serve.
Bump set. Gandler unpacks.
Gandler.
And I would say that's such a smart hit by Vanny Gandler because you're targeting the tallest player of Capital One in Des Clemente de Guzman.
Vanny Gandler now with 7 points. Leading all scorers. And now let's see if Kayuna can maximize her front line. Genesis will receive. Makatuno will set. Alvarez.
On the line.
2
Alvarez.
points from the bench.
19,
Lighting a fire
22.
here.
And they're just down by 3. But we have to say Shola Alvarez was once upon a time an MVP in the NCAA. So she has a lot of talent to back up that name.
Cap.
Gel will set up Jackie Acuna. Rivera with the dig. Now to the right pin. Estrella.
It's a net touch.
Net touch.
Yeah, it was clear. She found herself too near the net, a bit intimidated.
You have Giselle C. entering the game for the first time. Now that's a veteran there, Giselle C. Used to these closing in moments.
Actually, Giselle C and Makatuno, I think, played against each other.
Estrella. No check ball that time, and so we arrive at set point.
Yeah, a bit of nerve setting in. We can see first that net infraction this time. You saw her froze when she did her approach, and that changed the hit.
Gandler looking to put an end here in this first set. From the middle, Alvarez striking. Katindig, floor coverage. Abil.
Attack error.
Nakakuha ng magandang buwelo.
20-24.
Yeah, she's not comfortable with that set. It was too far. It was like a shoot set, so you found her like contort, trying to bend, trying to get it.
C. Straight to the quick.
Ball is out.
But Acuna couldn't find the target, so we will have a challenge though. But basing it off her reaction, I don't think she was sure of that one.
Yeah, but you know, whatever happens, Cignal, you have to be careful. You're giving Capital1 all the reason to stick around here.
Mga lifeline na rin.
Yeah, giving them a couple of lifelines, like you said.
And sometimes that's what's dangerous, no, na rin, yung mga getting momentum from those lifelines.
Yeah.
Suddenly, you're down by one, suddenly you're tied. Life happens fast here in volleyball.
Yep, we've seen a lot of matches.
12-22. Kayun.
So Kayuna inserted back quickly, as well as Ishi lalong isip. So some cushion here though for Cignal.
Yeah, they built a sizable lead. Oh.
And Alvarez with the service error, which means Cignal will take the first set there. They were up by as much as 9, a bit of a comeback by Capital1, but Cignal just sealing the deal in 31 minutes.
Player highlights, we got you covered. Subscribe now to the PVL YouTube channel. Subscribe!
And in 31 minutes, the Cignal HD Spikers grabbing that first set win. They were up by as much as 9 thanks to Vanny Gandler Noreen. Genesis had started that rally, but not enough there for Capital1.
I think the summary of what happened or what transpired in set number 1 is that Capital1 really had a very slow start. We did mention a lot of tentative hits. You know, it took a while for them to warm up, to get into the game. And when they did, we saw that challenge, which, you know, prompted Coach Shaq to call timeouts, use his challenges. So what you need to learn from, if you're Capital1 from the first set, is you start out strong here in set number 2, because Cignal just played so relaxed in the first set. When they built that lead, you challenged, they had enough cushion, right? And let's look at some numbers. Cignal attacks, blocks, went their way. A lot of errors on both ends. Cignal with 10 and Capital with 1. One thing obviously you want to correct in set number 2. But again, I mean, really, it was just such a slow start for Capital1. You're hoping for a better, stronger, and more forceful start.
Conviction.
I opted not to use that.
We don't want to overuse that word. Well, we welcome you to set number 2. Vanny Gandler, she was the main character in that first set. Already with 7 quick points. Trisha Genesis, she had 4. She sparked a little run, but a couple of timely errors as well for Capital One there late in that set number 1.
Set number 2.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the starting unit of Capital One. They're retaining majority of the 6 that started, plus Shola Alvarez.
Came alive also. Shola Alvarez, couple of good hits.
Yeah, a lot of names that throughout the conference that we saw played well. Patty Orendain played really well. From the center,
Fernandez.
Into the net.
That's a miss.
Capital One gets their first point.
The first point will go to Shola here.
so again, their fans and us were hoping for a better start from Capital One.
Oh, almost. Free ball, Capital One.
Chance.
Cruz from the middle. Leila Cruz.
Yeah, pretty silent first set for Leila Cruz. We did talk about the matchup at the top of the coverage. Vanny Gandler against Leila Cruz. Leila Cruz was actually subbed out. So yeah, she wants to actually get into the game here in set number 2.
Straight back to Capital One. Bump set to the opposite side. Leila Cruz.
Oh, good save.
It's still alive. Makatuno. Not connecting with her middles there. And Jackie Acuna and Chelkina showing them how it's done.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of that connection. Jackie Acuna, we saw how much she's improved throughout the conferences. We're gonna see more of that, I feel, and stronger hits from Jackie Acuna. I was thinking of that player from Capital One, Sid.
Niegos.
Niegos also, played really well during the eliminations or the seeding.
Cruz striking from the opposite side and just finding the perfect zone to attack. So let's turn it over now to Kayla Castillo.
For Coach Roger Gorayev, ang magiging deciding factor kung makakalusot ba ang Capital 1 Solar Spikers sa malabutas ng karayom na match na ito ay ang desire mismo ng players. For Coach Roger, malaking bagay ang desire eh. Pag nilagay mo sa isip mo na magagawa ko to, kaya ko to, ilaland ka niyan sa better position, sabi ni Coach Roger. Alam nyo, this head coach strongly believes that experience-wise may ibubuga ang players niya. But the thing is, they still don't realize it. Matter of fact, hinahanapan nga daw ni Coach Roger ang Solar Spikers ng fighting spirit. Yung tipong mag-react at sisigaw ng tara, laban tayo. Well, Jamie and Noreen, I'm here to tell you that coming into the second set, Trisha Genesis actually huddled her teammates and fiercely said, erase, erase, maging aggressive tayo. Let's see how this short but impactful message changed things for the Solar Spikers. Hi, Noreen.
Well, Kyla, you spoke of desire. A lot of desire in that rally from both teams, but Cignal winning it. That's a good point. We talked about conviction. Of course, there's desire needed to be.
No, and I like it that Coach Roger knows that their capacity as individuals. What a start for Trisha Genesis.
To the quick Doria Aquino. Doria Aquino, great coverage by Alvarez. Genesis again. Sent back. Rivera to the back row.
Ball is out.
And
3.
that will be a point for Cignal.
You know, that's the thing. You know that Genesis is playing well, but she will be checked. So you need also to set the other players. They have to be ready, you know, so that to create some sort of confusion, maybe doubt with the defensive Cignal.
Genesis sent back again. Net touch for the HD Spikers.
Yeah, they read that hit from Genesis. They got a block, but yeah, it is. We saw the net fraction.
Kayuna, lalong isip. Tough angle. Quick attack, dug by Gandler. Ishi.
Wow.
Oh, nice move there by Ishi lalong isip.
4-6.
That's a great hit. I mean, it wasn't the best of sets. Lalong Isip just was ready. When we talk about the players having to be ready, Lalong Isip was just ready for that.
3 points now for lalong isip. A high set for Shola.
Oh, good thing.
Dawn is everywhere. Back row, lalong isip. Overcooks.
7-4.
Good effort though. We saw that the set was far, but Lalong Isip was just committed to that hit.
Kayuna, straight to Doria Aquino.
Out of the
Nice
line,
side out
Aquino.
for Cignal.
Yeah, you know, that's just a smart set by Kayuna, realizing that whenever Doria is there, she has the advantage. So yeah, you try to milk
Doria.
Roslyn Doria, Aquino when she's there in front.
It was already tried and tested
Yeah.
here in the PVL.
Ooh!
Oh, service ace. Ayun, di ko nabate.
6 serving
It
set.
looks like it was going out. I mean, we saw Shola jump for that, so...
Aquino.
How about Doria Aquino, Noreen? 6 points early here in set number 2.
Well, that is expected of her.
Nakatuna jump set. Alvarez looking to go down the line.
Ball is out.
Not there. And we are tied just like that at 7.
Errors piling up for Capital 1.
Substitution. Capital 1. Out. 12. In.
Orenda in. Talked about her earlier today.
Aquino.
With Capital 1, can almost expect different rotations. Cruz from the back. Fernandez sent it back to the other side. Rivera to Orenda in. Dug by Doria Aquino.
With
Acuña
drama. Dog with drama.
reaches there. Orenda in. Slowed down by the blockers. Gandler, drop ball. Covered, quick. And the rally continues. Acuña
Whoa! Still alive.
now bumped. And a free ball. Big chance here for Cignal. To the slide they go.
Oh, what a dig.
Rivera putting it in play. Back row Genesis. Gel, slide attack again, and it's still alive. Orenda in naman. And buhay pa rin.
Long rally.
Bump, Cruz. What a rally. Kayuna still not there. Ito na ba yun? Oh! Layla. Straight to Ishi. Gel to Vanny. Genesis with a dig. Here comes Cruz.
Oh,
What a fun rally.
that's the best rally we had so far. And because it was so long, what ended it was, I guess, fatigue.
We'll catch our breath with this technical timeout.
Na-miss niyo ba yung game namin? Kung na-miss niyo, subscribe na to our YouTube channel. Subscribe na!
Get your daily dose of sports updates on Starting Lineup, Mondays to Fridays, 6:30 p.m. live on Pilipinas Live app and One News, also available on One Sports and One Sports Plus. Well, we were able to catch our breath there, Noreen, after a rally, not the prettiest of rallies, but both teams getting scrappy to get that point.
I mean, that rally should pump them up because it sure pumped us up. I mean, it was a very exciting rally.
Which will leave Doria Aquino and Cignal with a 1-point lead after a slow start to the second set. They target Genesis. Run and gun play. Kept in play. Cayuna will push. Sending it to the open, Orenda in with some power.
Great defense.
Free ball. Cayuna, the toss to Vanny Gandler. Straight to Genesis, who puts it up. Orenda in will counter.
Oh.
Fernandez saving it. Another rally we have here. 1-2 play.
Still alive.
And a free ball again for the Solar Spikers. Ipak na naman. Makatuno to Rivera to Orenda in.
Good dig.
Doria Aquino showing us some great floor coverage.
So it's Rivera.
Pipe, Genesis, denied by Jackie Acuna.
Genesis, denied.
But great rally again by both these teams. You gotta credit that point to Fernandez, though.
This block of the set is brought to you by East West Bank, the official bank of the PVL All-Filipino Conference.
Great read. One-on-one, but Acuna was just all over that.
Now a 2-point cushion. But that's out for Rose Doria Aquino.
For Capital One.
Looks like they will challenge. Ball in, ball out for sure.
It looked out.
All out.
Their first challenge of the set. Like how we have pauses the next play after a long rally. It's helping us, Noreen. It's helping us. Here we go.
Oh, it's good.
Yes, it's in.
Oh, great challenge. It looked out from where we're sitting.
Successful for Sig.
He's got a spy. I have a theory. He's got a spy. Where?
Doria Aquino, now the leading scorer for Cignal.
Another good serve.
Cruz, not the set she liked. Cayuna kneeling to Jackie Acuna. Another connection there.
We'll take
11.
it. Cayuna milking the middles because no blockers. I mean, not a solid connection, but still, a point is a point.
So far here in set 2, Noreen, it's the middle blockers for Cignal.
Yeah.
Stepping up.
That's just smart setting by Jel Cayuna.
11 serving 7.
Better pass.
They've been trying that slide play, and finally they convert with Julia Ipak.
Yeah, we did ask of that. I asked of Capital One, the other players have to step up. You know, it cannot be just Trisha Genesis at this point.
Serve for Capital
Acuna, straight to Rivera. Orenda in, approaching.
Orenda
So
in,
veteran
no?
move by Orenda in.
Yep, just the right angle, brushing it off the blockers' hands. And you know, throughout the years, when I say years, I mean years. Orenda in has this unorthodox form, but as effective.
Back-to-back points for the Solar Spikers. Makatuno getting a service ace.
Serve.
Another good serve.
Combination play, denied.
And we're tied.
I believe
at
that's
11.
Ipak.
Yeah, great response by Capital One. We are now tied. I mean, because Cignal is actually getting more predictable in terms of their play, so defense was there.
So Shaq de los Santos has seen enough here. Will call for time.
Tapos Ishi, back mo ka. Bani, sige, tiyagain mo lang. Sige, pasa mo na ulit, ha? Huwag pa lang yan, huwag pa lang. Layo ulit tayo.
We find ourselves in a deadlock at 11. I think they heard us talk about Dory Aquino and Jackie Acuna. Ipak with a kill block and a run and gun hit. So we find ourselves tied.
Well, that's what they have to do. They have to read the offense of Cignal. You know, they have tall defenders.
Ball is out.
Difficult angle for Gandler.
Now you see, Jaime, the difference a good block makes. It makes your opponent really think, like,
Capital 1.
I'm going to get blocked. I'm going to try to avoid that blockers and sometimes the error.
Ties set.
Ocatuno straight to the net. Yung that smile of Coach Roger, yung isa-smile mo na lang type of play.
What else can he do? He can't serve for them.
Spikers.
Full rotation here for Cignal. Same play. Back row, Ishii. Yes.
Hand of Ipa.
That's a better
Lalo
bump
isip
set.
ko.
Was that Katindig? That set. Good save by Acuna. It was Katindig. Better set, see? I mean, lalong isip did that earlier, but the set was too far from her. She makes up.
Ay.
Orinda in. Getting the put down. There was a violation for Cignal.
Well, now Capital, what you like is they're kind of... Their options are not limited. You're seeing Orinda in, getting touches. That's what you want. You're trying to widen the choices.
Kanina we saw Shola, bit of Genesis,
Wow.
and a lot of Vanny Gandler.
14.
And we're going to see a lot more.
That's just her first point this set. Couldn't have come at a better time.
Yeah, when it's neck and neck.
Now Vanny's at the back line. They target Rivera. Makatuna on the toss to Leila Cruz.
Through the block. We're tied at 14.
We have to say Rivera has been playing really well today, at least. You know, digging, service reception.
Ipa. Capital.
Fifth deadlock at 14. Tough bump set. Fernandez dug by Ipak. The setup for Trisha. Double
Genesis
block.
off the block.
Challenged
15,
by Trisha
14.
Genesis.
Yeah, unfazed.
6. 4 out. 9. Up.
Substitution early, not so early, middle part of the second set.
Gel. Quick attack.
Quick attack.
That's the go-to.
Yeah.
You know, for me, Jaime, it is very important for Capital to establish their defense against the middle blockers of Cignal. They're just having, well, a heyday, you know, setting it to Acuna and Doria Aquino.
Tough bump set for Trisha. Almost a regalo.
Good save.
Leaving a free ball. Makatuno to the slide.
Back way.
Clemente de Guzman will score. Leading us to our second technical timeout here.
Bitin na kaya sa games? Watch all the replays on PVL YouTube channel. Subscribe!
UAAP Season 87 Volleyball is live and exclusive here on Cignal. Watch it all live on the UAAP Varsity Channel, One Sports, and Pilipinas Live because legends start here. And a lot of these players started from the UAAP.
Yeah, that's you're right, no? The starting ground for a lot of future stars. Like you said, legends start here.
That's like Don, a legend in
Makandili.
Katindig.
At that time. At that time.
16-15 after that technical timeout. Doria Aquino has been the main character here in our set number 2.
Yeah, but we have to say, although she got that point, you like the blockers were there. Now you just need to adjust your technique. You gotta penetrate that net, try to keep the ball in the court of Cignal.
Good pass.
Whoa!
That is the result. Another hit by Des Clemente de Guzman.
16.
Boy, she looks good doing that. I mean, we've seen the progress of Des Clemente de Guzman. Look at that. Come on.
Already won a middle blocker, best middle blocker award here in the PVL. Not the best of receives. Good pop set. Another one by Don Makandili Katindig.
She's loving the assists. Yeah. But we have to say, Lalong Isip has been a recipient of all these, like, out-of-system sets.
And right now, she will be receiving a point on that service ace.
And that's huge. What a time for that to come because it's been close throughout this mid part.
After being limited to just 1 point in the first set, she already has 5 here in set 2. Great bounce back from the Rook. Meantime, Orinda in from the left pin. Bringing in some heat.
A lot of heat. Nearly gave Abel a facial.
Orinda in. Talked about the word stability with Jorel Singh. Orinda in also gives that stability here.
She is a veteran.
Checked at the net. Dump down.
Ooh.
Buhay. Chance ball. Ibibigay kay Vanny.
Canter off the hand of the Guzman.
You know, the side sounds and comments of Coach Shaq doesn't help. You heard that? Ayan, ayan, ayan. It's actually distracting. Of course, you know it's against Capital 1, his target.
Orinda in. Drop ball. Most of her points have been veteran moves.
Yeah. She is a veteran. I mean, she's been playing in the pros for quite some time. Years.
10 deadlocks now in this set. Iris Tolenada seeing her for the first time. As we are tied at 19.
Game cap.
Good serve.
Target Abel. Cayuna will push. Iris, the setup. Orinda in again. Nice recovery by Judith. Gandler flying in. Here comes Cruz. With the put down.
That's an all-important point for Capital.
Now a lead here thanks to Cruz. Cignal will call for a timeout. Listening on Coach Shaq.
Ilong mo. Okay, sige. Tapos Vanny. Uy. Uy. Running. Okay, tapos running lang to. Okay? Pag dito ka mag-ano. Tapos yung normal lang, normal na ano natin, ha?
End game. Go, Cignal! Awesome!
There's Ishi Lalong Isip. Del Cayuna find themselves down by 1. Coach Shaq Looking to put an end to that momentum here for Capital One.
Yeah, it looked like he's talking about basic plays, you know, and practice that.
But in the oh, no one there
Communication.
to get that ball.
Yeah, that was a wasted opportunity really for Capital. It was gettable, but I think that was what Coach Jack was saying. Do you want the long slides or the short ones? Then he did say ilong mo, so that's why that slide was closer to the antenna. So great design play.
Iris is set for Ipak. And Abel could not reach.
21, 20.
Yeah, that reception by Cayuna was pretty short. Abel very quick on her toes but couldn't get to that.
Capital One showing a lot of heart here, Noreen.
Yes, so different from actually the first set.
Cayuna in the meantime for Gandler. Just with the perfect placement.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of that throughout the years in the PVL, these drops. It looks like it's short, then you'll see that longer drop, so at the center.
Virtual race to 4.
Whoa.
That one with the help of the net. Off system for Trisha. Gandler with a put up. Lalong Isip. Slowed down by the blockers. Cruz from the right pin. There was a whistle in favor of the Solar Spikers.
Well, Cignal lapsing into errors here. Yeah, they were asking each other around, did anyone touch the net? But it was a good call. We saw the net move.
Ipak will target Gandler. Cayuna to Abel. Oh, what a big hit by Judith Abel.
Is that her first point? I think that's her first point. She likes these moments, Judith Abel. These close ones. And what do you like with that conversion? Because she's the last person you expect, right, Cayuna to go to. But now she's an option.
Cruz had to reach, but height is might. You talked about it.
23,
Height is might. Whatever works. Wasn't pretty, but she'll take it.
Whatever works to get that lead.
Works.
2 points away for the Solar Spikers. A tough bump set, Abel. Rivera was there to cover. Genesis. We arrive at set point.
Capital One at set point.
You love the fight in Capital One. They just hung around. We have to say hung around, and now they found that opening, and Genesis delivers.
Abel will receive. Lalong Isip.
Chance.
Iris. Blocked by Rose Doria Aquino. Blocked again. Genesis, could this be it? Not yet. To Cignal. Cayuna. And there was a challenge.
There's
The
a
touch.
challenge on the floor by Capital One.
I was getting hyped up na rin for the
I
rally.
Well, they stopped the rally.
Challenge.
Well, if this challenge is successful, this is going to at least a fourth set.
Grabe din yung pasok kay Iris Norino. It was tied at 19. But then one of your other veterans in Iris.
Yeah, well, you know what Iris really brings when she's inside the court is personality, I would say.
She can get you pumped up.
And how she celebrates when her teammates score, it should be infectious.
starting this netfall challenge. As Capital One looking to tie this game up at 1 set apiece. For the Solar Spikers, it has been a balanced attack. Also, shout out to Orinda In, really.
Yeah.
Her presence.
Genesis led the way for Capital One here in set number 2.
Here it is. There it is. And look at the Solar Spikers go!
Successful for
But
Capital
Coach
One.
Roger,
And they take the
nonchalant.
second set, 25 to 22.
Coach Roger, poker face.
But nonetheless, deep inside, he's happy
Oh,
because Capital One will tie it up at 1 set apiece after taking set number 2, 25 to 22.
Player highlights, we got you covered. Subscribe now to the PVL YouTube channel. Subscribe!
Fabriano Dry Fit jerseys.
And after 32 minutes, Capital One Solar Spikers tying this game up at 1 set apiece. And they really rallied there in the end. Saw multiple rallies. But let me ask you this, Noreen. What changed for Capital One there in set number 2?
Well, for me, they had a good start. Care of or courtesy of Trisha Genesis. And when the rest of the team saw her fighting and hitting, it's like, everybody, I want to get into the act. I want to get into the game. And everyone did. Great setting by, we have to say, Makatuno, Talanada when she entered. But we mentioned it off the air. I mean, pretty balanced scoring. We saw Desclemente de Guzman with a couple of great hits. Orinda In. Come on. I mean, quality minutes. And what you like is they're back. Capital One, this is what it's all about, the play-in tournament. Look at the numbers. Balance attack 17. They out-attack Cignal. Blocking even aces. Attacks will negate that. Errors of Cignal a bit more than Capital One. But as a whole, I feel Capital One found themselves in set number 2 when they realized that, hey, we have actually a legitimate chance to tie this match at one set apiece. They grabbed it.
There's Vanny Gandler already in double figures. Genesis also has 8. Some of the leading scorers, but going back to Capital One, other than Genesis, it was a team effort. I'm looking at the stat sheet over to my right, and a lot of players scored there for set number 2. Even Iris Tolenada had some minutes after they were tied at 19. Of course, Leila Cruz doing Leila Cruz things.
And you know, showing us that okay, I really deserve to be in that matchup with Gandler, so she's stepping up, stepped up big time also in set number 2.
See how will Cignal respond here in set 3.
One set apiece, third set.
That's a good question.
Still here in the Phil Sports Arena in Pasig City, day 1 of our play-in tournament. Just the words play-in tournament. Anything can happen kind of thing. But you're looking for stability, and Orindain, she's been that stability here for the Solar Spikers.
She has been, again, a seasoned veteran for so many years, and you know, her worth, she's proving it here in Capital One.
From the opposite side, Fernandez. Doria Aquino.
Aquino.
Couldn't send it over.
Score 1.
And this is what gave Capital One confidence kanina, Norino. Yung just a good start. That's something they were looking for. Iris is starting the set.
I think that's a good change-up because you're also adding net defense with Tolenada when she's in the front.
Straight to the
Gandler
pavement.
on the angle.
Vanny Gandler will score.
Vanny Gandler is a constant for Cignal.
11 points now for Vanny Gandler.
You know what is the strength of Cignal is if you have a full front row, they have so many options, so they need to score when their front is intact.
Miss hit there for Orendain.
Gambler.
Iris sets it up. Lalong isip from the open.
The dig.
Regalo for Rose Doria Aquino.
Yeah, it was actually an overpass, and Aquino will not commit the same mistake twice.
And now a better start for Cignal.
But actually, a couple of errors, couple of errant passes from Cignal. They have to be careful because they did win the second set.
Bomb set, Leila Cruz. Gandler covering that floor. Lalong isip with the approach.
She loves this out-of-system plays. Lalong isip always at the recipient of these bump sets.
This spike of the set is brought to you by Dunkin' Pasalubong ng Bayan.
And you see she's changing her angles. Rivera has been doing a great job in digging, but now it's Lalong isip just trying to avoid Rivera.
Tolenada to Cruz. Slowed down by the blockers of Cignal. Lalong isip again. Lalong isip will score again.
Well, she is the spark now that Cignal needs.
And looking to put an end to that spark, a timeout is called by Coach Roger. Ishi Lalong isip eating up here from the open. Let's listen in.
Magmula kaninang umpisa, puro nagsi-single block. Tayo lang ang hindi makakonvert eh. Pagka nakita niyo single block, marumpakin niya yung bola. Luwag-luwag naman eh. Kasi ikaw, ang ganda nga ng depensa mo. Okay na sana kung tutuin yung ganyan. Oo, pero yun, hindi mo na lang tutukan. Malakas naman yung palo.
One stop muna. Capital, 1!
There's Vanny Gandler with a 5-1 blast in set number 3. It's been Lalong isip really paving the way so far. Oh, service error for
3 point
Vanny
for
Gandler.
the
We haven't heard
Solar
from Kyla
Spikers.
Castillo in a while. What's going on there, Kyla?
At this point, you could really see the hunger of both teams. The Solar Spikers have gotten very much aggressive, but for the Cignal HD Spikers, even though alarmed, Coach Shaq remained calm and even told the HD Spikers, bumawi kayo, maging matalino, dumiskarte at huwag kayong pabara-bara ng ginagawa. He also asked for technical adjustments from the ladies, pointing out na huwag pabayaan ng depensa at huwag silang bumitaw sa blockings dahil yun ang bumubuhay sa kanila. Now, every rally, every point, you could really hear the Cignal bench loudly cheering, let's go Cignal, let's go. You could feel the energy, and that's exactly what they need if they want to end this game on their side. Hi, Noreen.
Thank you so much, Kyla. Oh, maingay talaga sila dyan. Andyan si Judith and Buding Durendes. That's going to be a loud bench for sure.
Yeah.
In the meantime, lalong isip.
Good dig.
In another solid dig. Genesis unpacks.
Genesis finds the line.
Well, you like that response, right? I mean, lalong isip has been very effective, but great defense by it's a good start for Capital One.
As Julia Ipak makes her way to the service line. 3 points so far for Ipak. Oh, Jackie Acuna
Ball is out.
couldn't find the right rhythm for that slide attack.
Yeah, we saw the follow through too long. The Cignal, we have to say it again, they have to be careful. They had a strong start here in set number 3.
Ishii, Orende in with the dig. The set, the hit, the block.
Good cover.
Now to the other side, Cruz, tough angle. Kayuda will set up Ishii, lalong isip.
Halong easy. 4, 7, 4.
Lalong isip, what a start here in set number 3. She's just going for all the hits there. That hit the shoulder of Tolenada.
She has 3 of the 7 points so far. The set for Trisha Genesis, breaking the block.
Down the line.
But you know, you'd love that fake from Tolenada. Like a little hop and then just pushed it to Genesis, a one-on-one. That's how good that set was.
She's now in double figures with 10 points. Genesis, slide attack. Tolenada to the open. Back-to-back points for Trisha Genesis.
She has been the one playing very well for Capital One, so yeah, you have to keep feeding her.
Substitution. 6.
She remains unfazed against the tough blocking of Cignal. We have Santos entering the game. That's in.
Right on the line.
Lalong isip.
Isip.
A bit of a heat check there, especially to send us to our first technical timeout.
Na-miss niyo ba yung game namin? Kung na-miss niyo, subscribe na to our YouTube channel. Subscribe na!
Our matchup results so far, the one we talked about in the pregame. Leila Cruz and Vanny Gandler. Good solid outing so far for the rookie Leila Cruz. Vanny Gandler, of course. You can expect that. Rewrite the stars.
Sing it.
I'm too shy. Baka si Kyla. Right now, after that first technical timeout in set number 3, Cignal clinging on to a 2-point lead. The person serving is hot right now here, attacking.
Has been really like responsible for this lead. We have to say for this lead enjoyed by Cignal.
And a service ace. Ishi lalong isip. I think it's her alter ego coming in here in set number 3.
I mean, great target because earlier she did target Pati Orendain. A bit of a struggle there. Then she targeted her once again. She gets the ace. And again.
Genesis. Double block was there. This time to the back. Leila Cruz. Beating Vanny Gandler to it.
Serving 10.
Good change up. I mean, they set it to Trisha Genesis. She was checked. You have to set it really to the other teammates. Leila Cruz piling up her numbers, trying to catch Vanny Gandler in that matchup.
Great receive by Katindig. To the pipe. Ishi. With a miss.
8 to 10.
I feel that Kayuna had the right thing in mind. It's just the execution.
Kayuna this time will go to the open. Rivera with a cross-court dig. Orinda in approaching. I believe there was a check ball.
Gets a ball touch.
You're gonna challenge because Kayuna said she did not get any tips on that.
Challenge. Block touch.
Block touch challenge. Let's find out. Yun, Noreen lalong isip already has 5 points in this set. And Trisha has 4. So here's our challenge.
No touch.
No block touch there.
The challenge is successful for Cignal.
I mean, Kayuna did say, I did not touch that ball. So yeah, successful challenge.
There's Caroline Santos. Got a little excited.
That went to the CR.
Okay. Coach went to the CR.
Thank you.
I'm kind of confused what happened. So Coach Roger
went to the CR. Hey, everybody. Bit of comic relief for everyone
I know.
in this match.
We've had a couple.
Yeah.
Meantime,
Quick attack.
Doria Aquino getting in the scoring party here.
Well, we know that play to be an advantage for Cignal. So yeah, I mean, it's good to revisit that connection.
Iris. Slide attack. At the net was checked. Joust. Rivera. Tolenada. Orinda in.
Orinda in.
Full
Off the
on
hand of
hard
Fernandez.
swing.
This time, she made
9,
sure it
serving
was
12.
a point.
Here's that approach.
Ooh, it looked like it was going out, right?
Gandler tipping it over. Iris. And the point by Doria
Pausing.
Aquino,
Kayuna scores.
who just laps it
13,
off. I think
9.
even she was surprised.
Yeah. Lucky. But that's what we're saying. When we saw Leila Cruz trying to follow the ball, you know, I mean, it stops your teammates from making an attempt. So, you know, you have to be, when you're moving, it has to have a purpose all the time.
13, 14, 13.
Orinda In is being checked here in this set. Cayuna and Cignal, full front line. It's another day at the office for Jel Cayuna with 14 excellent sets.
Yeah, and I feel for Cignal, this is the strongest rotation.
Another stuff
And
block.
lane turned back by Aquino.
Doria Aquino forming that wall. This block of the set is brought to you by East West Bank, the official bank of the PVL All-Filipino Conference. Over received.
Good save.
Ipak covers. Alvarez just entered the game. Doria Aquino not there just yet. Alvarez again. Slowed down by the block. Now to the back row. Ishi.
Whoa, good dig.
Another try here for the HD Spikers. From the opposite side.
Oh, another good dig.
Hernandez was dug by Cruz. And we have a good rally ongoing. Quick. Good dig by Genesis.
Good save.
Gandler off speed. Wala pa rin. Alvarez. Still not there. Great block by Ipak. Gandler
Oh.
gets it.
Gambler and a long
Boy, you gotta
rally.
credit Katindig for trying to keep that ball alive for Cignal.
A perfect way to send us to our second technical timeout.
Bitin na kaya sa games? Watch all the replays at PVL YouTube channel. Subscribe!
SB Finance, ang BFF na malalapitan. Back here in the Phil Sports Arena in Pasig City. Some of our fans here enjoying this game, set number 3. But Cignal up by a comfortable margin so far. And I would say it's Doria Aquino as of late doing in the work.
Yeah, what's working really well for Cignal, obviously their defense. And when you see them digging and those scrappy plays, what you like, you see Don Makandili Katindig running to the front, trying to help set the ball. That made a lot of difference.
Fernandez will push.
Wow.
Such an intelligent play by John Fernandez.
Yeah, she found herself out of position. But you can always score by playing it smart.
That's perfect.
Yeah. Corner pocket.
Bit of a similar story to what we saw in set number 1 here. Alvarez goes long. Now the set for Vanny.
The dig.
The counter with Shola.
Whoa!
Too hot to handle.
Well, if she's gonna warm up, that's a good sign for Capital One. We've seen that. You said it. It's a similar story in the here and in the first set. So you just need somebody to warm up. Good pass.
Gandler from the opposite side with a cross-court kill.
Well, she wants to win the matchup. She had a comfortable lead earlier against Leila Cruz.
Gandler has been locked in this game. Stats speak for itself. Up by 8. Alvarez.
Alvarez. To the right.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they realized that Shola Alvarez had a good hit. That should boost her confidence. Why not set it her again? A combination play. She scores again.
Now she will be serving here. Still a mountain to climb though. 7-point lead for Cignal. Tolinada. Now to Genesis. Straight to the net.
19.
Good effort though from Capital One.
Ayan na po si Coach Roger. Nakabalik na po.
From the CR.
I'm out. Spikers.
And the Solar Spikers calling for time. They're down by 8. Let's take a listen in.
Ano, hindi pa pinipit yung palo mo. Tapos ibabalik mo sa pinanggalingan. Ano kapwersa-pwersa yun? Walang kapwersa-pwersa yung palo. Pag nakita mo nandoon na, lumabas ka na. Kaharap ka na dun sa rumisib ng bola eh. Habulin natin, huwag natin palakihin ha.
Some specific instructions there by Coach Roger.
Yeah, I think he was frustrated with the fact that, you know, they put in the effort for defense and then you hit it into the net. So some reminders for Trisha Genesis.
Rose Doria Aquino at the service line with 12 points. Cruz, dug by Gandler, set by Cayuna. The counter, not there. Doromal. Cruz again, this time
Through the block.
she finishes the play.
19.
Yeah, great setting again because you are spreading your sets. Look at that, making the defense or the blockers work double time and at this play late.
Cayuna will bump it to Joe Fernandez. Great reflexes by Katindig. Free ball, Solar Spikers. And the put down by Clemente de Guzman.
Nice shot from
Right?
De Guzman.
De Guzman is looking more and more comfortable with these slides, these hits. And that's against Katindig. That's not easy.
Not easy at all. Combination play. Check. Good save. Oh!
Oh!
Easy. Combination play.
Again, good effort. We've seen that also from Capital One. They really try to go and keep the ball alive.
Out. In.
Giselle C.
9. Abil. In.
Back in the game with Judith Abil on this double substitution. Cignal is 5 points away from taking a 2-1 lead. Good receive. Cruz striking hot from the middle.
You see the individual talent. We saw Clemente de Guzman, now Cruz. I mean, you see the talent. You're hoping for Capital One. It'll just keep growing together.
That's the second time they ran that play too of a good receive, and that leaves Cruz with 10 points already in double figures. And the service ace right there.
She scores. 15.
Boy, remember you did say it's looking like a similar first set. Here come Capital One.
Coach Shaq De Los Santos and a bit of a distress call here as he calls for timeout.
Yung pasa natin, naghihintay tayo ng serve. Pag serve nila, nakaano pa tayo dyan. Naka-steady pa tayo. Pag contact ng bola, galaw agad, basa kung short or long. Okay? Kapit mo na sa pasa.
Yan nila akong pasa ha. Atake tayo.
Pasa mo na ha. Isang maganda lang ha.
Short lang yun. Okay.
Hey, stop ko lang ha. Up tayo lang 5 ha. Okay, 1 point muna, 1 point muna ha.
Back after that timeout, Coach Shaq reminding his team, still a question here. But Leila Cruz with some big points. Combination play for Lalong Isip. Won't work.
Ball in play.
Trisha Genesis against the double block. Katindig will be setter for Vanny from the back row.
Gandler, back row attack. 21.
Boy,
50.
anywhere she is an option. Could be Jel Cayuna, could be Giselle C, could be Katindig. Again, she has embraced that responsibility of trying to go to the ball. If the second ball is far, then she bump sets it. And how many points were scored off of those?
Off system hit. C to Carol Santos
with a quick attack.
for her first point
50.
in the game.
Well, what a time for her to introduce herself to today's crowd. Oh, good save.
C quick to transition. C this time back to Santos. Katindig, there's that bump set. Abil. And it was
Abil
sent
turned
back by the
back by
blockers of
Genesis.
Capital One.
Good read. Good
16,
read from the
22.
defense of Capital One. That was Genesis.
C 100 set. Almost goes. Katindig, my goodness. Gandler, Genesis will reach. Tolenada will set to the back. A little too low for Leila Cruz.
23, 16.
Yeah, wasted opportunity. Shola Alvarez was so ready.
Harold.
They're big confidence boosters for players like Carol Santos.
Yeah, it's not easy. I mean, you're coming off the bench, you know. Good stop.
Now to the back row, Genesis. Now to the open Vanny.
Good dig.
Good dig by Genesis. Cruz. Santos with the coverage. Gander elevates and puts it down.
Gandler.
She's so smart. Connecting, finding the lines. You see Gandler's game? She goes sharp, she goes long. It's so hard to defend because she's so much variety in her shots.
Those variations has led her to 15 points and set point here. The slide for Clemente de Guzman. That is something that has been working here.
And you like the contact. I mean, she has developed that. You hear the crispness of between her hand and the ball. It sounded really, really good.
Doria Aquino finishes
Aquino
off
ends
set
the
number
set
3.
for Cignal. 25 to 17.
Let's take a look at that one more time. That will do it. Cignal HD Spikers will take a 2-1 lead after 28 minutes of play.
Player highlights, we got you covered. Subscribe now to the PVL YouTube channel. Subscribe!
25-17 in set number 3 after 28 minutes. And Cignal pretty much had control of that entire set. We even saw some key contributions from Carol Santos, Don Makandili Katindig. Her moniker, her nickname is pretty much felt in that set 3 as well.
Yeah, you know what what Cignal did correctly? I feel Coach Shaq just made the substitution because they wanted to avoid any sort of rally that Capital 1 seemed like they were mounting, right? It became just a 5-point lead, made the substitution, put in Giselle C, some bit of change, and they were able to just keep Capital 1 in arm's length. So Capital 1, you have good production. You see a lot, Leila Cruz, Clemente de Guzman, but it has to be consistent. Let's look at some numbers. Cignal, 16-11 attacks, blocking, even less errors. But you did say, Jaime, they had control pretty much most of the third set, and they were able to avoid maybe a comeback by Capital 1. Capital 1, again, back to the drawing board. You had flashes of brilliance, we always want to say, but when you can do that from start to finish, you have a better chance in actually getting a set.
Vanny Gandler looking like she hasn't played 3 sets at all, as always. But going back to Ishi Lalong Isip, she also was someone we kept talking about at the start of that set to really set up the pace.
Yeah, yes, agree. I mean, she started the run for Cignal. But Genesis, we were talking about De La Cruz. What about Genesis with 12 huge points so far today?
And so will Cignal end it here, or will we get a set number 5? We'll find out. Cignal will start things off. And to remind everyone, this is a big game for Cignal in the sense that they want to bounce back after that loss to Galleries.
Well, people are calling that the biggest upset of the tournament so far.
Lalong Isip swinging. Tolenada setting to the pipe. Ginoo, who we have not seen in set 1. And there was an infraction there by Cignal.
You know, that's what you like. There's a huge difference between the PVL and the collegiate ranks, like the UAAP. You see the coaches, they're not afraid of a lot of changes in the starting units. That's why when you're a player, you always have to be ready.
That's 2 straight errors for Cignal to start this set number 4.
Well, you talked about Doria being a huge contributor in the set number 3 victory. They're trying to go to her more here.
Lalong Isip slowed down by that block. Alvarez will counter. Back to Ishi. Iris opting for Leila from the opposite side. Kayuna, nice dig. To the pipe they go.
Good dig.
Secondary setter Doromal for Cruz. Great coverages so far. Lalong Isip looking to put an end. Not just yet. Ginoo striking from the back. Kayuna back set. Fernandez. Oh, Iris. Floor coverage. Cruz.
Oh, still in play.
Buhay na buhay. Cruz again. Gandler. Solid coverage.
Good read.
Iris to Shola. Cross court. To the back row, Vanny. Regalo, finally, says Doria Aquino. Woo! And a good time after that rally to send it to Kyla Castillo.
Hi, Noreen. Let's talk about team captain Iris Tolenada. She's intense, she's impassioned. She might be sporting blue and yellow, but she'll have you seeing red with her aggressiveness. If you look closely, you'll see how animated she is, hyping her teammates up, high-fiving them, spreading much-needed confidence. And this intensity she brings, it actually seems contagious for the team. Still, they gotta figure out how to contain Cignal. As per Coach Roger, hindi sapat na tumitikit lang sila. You know, hi, Noreen, I spoke to Iris and she has a very spiritual outlook about this match. She said, and I quote, "God brought us here for a reason. We're gonna make the most out of it." Well, you could say they definitely don't want to have any regrets after this, so let's see the adjustments they'll make. Hi, Noreen.
You know what, Noreen? That might be my favorite of all-time report from Kyla Castillo. She really painted the picture there of Iris Tolenada and her importance for Capital 1.
So which color did you like?
The red.
The red. The red.
Oh, Vanny Gandler
Right in the hole.
getting
Gandler.
crafty, but almost a save there by Alvarez. I would love to see that replay here.
You see the importance of communication. This is a perfect exchange of how important communication is. It's a high tip, it's gettable, but everyone is just screaming.
Header Ginoo.
Oh,
That has
off
to
the
feel
header.
good.
4, 6,
Boy, she, her struggles this conference, she would start, she would play well, then she would struggle with offense, get less playing time. So here in the play-in tournament, you got to forget all that. You're Heather Ginoo, you know what you can do. You got to fight every time Coach Roger puts you in.
They've been going to the back row, and that is exactly why.
Yeah.
3, 7, 4.
Yeah, because Vanny Gandler, typical Vanny Gandler, tries to bail them out every chance she gets. Right inside the line.
Ever since college, Vanny has slowly mastered those back row attacks. 17 points now. Misreceive. Service ace.
Force.
But I feel here in the PVL, she has improved so much than when she was in UAP.
13 points after that service ace by Lalong Isip. Almost, but not quite
For the Solar Spikers.
for Lalong Isip, which will give Capital One a taste of the lead here.
Yeah, if you're Capital One at this point, no, again, you have nothing to lose. You're down 2-1. You gave a good fight in set number 2. You got to go all out. You have to force a 5th set.
Katindig will play setter. It's been working. Gandler denied at the net. So they will go back to Lalong Isip. And another back row hit.
Yeah, Jel Cayuna just maximizing her different options, right? She's giving it to Lalong Isip, to Vanny Gandler. So the defense just, who is she gonna give next? No blockers.
Overthink ka talaga pag si Cayuna yung setter in the opposing team.
Multiple best setter awardee.
Meantime, Tolenada sending it to Cruz. Easy coverage. Gandler getting it off the block.
Again, right? Bailing them out. It's a close 4th set, but you give it to Gandler. The effort is there, and she scores.
Nice balance there by Vanny Gandler.
Outstretched hand.
Carol Santos now serving. Sharp serve.
Yeah, good serve.
Tolenada, classic.
Another.
Little 1-2 play.
4, 6 all.
Well, you know she's an aggressive setter. She has that in her arsenal. You're just surprised that a great blocking team of Cignal just let that pass.
Now to Vanny.
Oh, good dig.
Ginoo not giving an inch. Alvarez will counter, but she was blocked. Once again, Alvarez blocked again. This time it will be a free ball for the HD Spikers. Overpass, Doromal. Alvarez, a 3rd try.
Alvarez.
The first referee called it in favor of Cignal, which means out, but the linesman called a check.
And Shola says there was a check.
Yeah.
She seemed sure.
We will see who has the better angle or the right angle. No block touch. First referee has a better angle.
So unsuccessful challenge for Coach Roger and Capital One. which means Cayuna will have a full front line.
And again, the best or the strongest rotation of Cignal because you have Lalong Isip available at the pipe.
Tolenada, this time it won't work. They were ready. Ginoo from the back. Katindig. Sending it up. Ishi from the back line. The setup for Alvarez. Couldn't connect. A bump set for Vanny Gandler.
Gandler into the block.
Just powers it through the blockers.
2-point lead for Cignal. Technical timeout.
Na-miss niyo ba yung game namin? Kung na-miss niyo, subscribe na to our YouTube channel. Subscribe na!
Eight to 6 is the score. Capital One just looking to keep it close and perhaps steal a set number 5. There's Vanny Gandler, the recipient of the many bump sets of Don Makadili Katindigu. We could not stop talking about how accurate those sets are, Noreen.
And you said it. I mean, off the air, you said that she actually organizes or brings cohesiveness to the play.
Did you see that, Noreen?
Yeah.
How did she know the camera was there? She's been that sharp today.
She has eyes at the back of her head.
Jill.
Right now, 2-point lead, Cignal to serve. From the middle, checked. Gandler, straight to Ginoo. Transitioning to that quick, and Doria Aquino closing the doors.
Yeah. I mean, how many times has Des Clemente de Guzman scored against Doria? This time, Aquino closes the door.
A bit of cushion. And I think Cayuna saw it coming. I saw her facial reaction after the release.
You know she wanted a short serve, but not that short.
Kneeling set to Vanny from the opposite side, and it sails wide.
Right. It's just a 1-point game. If Heather Ginoo can also get going, you know, score a couple of points, change things up.
Doria Aquino, dug by Cruz. And that's Tolenada losing her balance, touching the net.
I mean, wasted opportunity, we would say, because it is close match. All these errors will really count.
Tolenada will chase. Easy over. Cayuna looking to maximize this combination play, but Doromal not giving an inch. Back to Cignal. And this time, they make sure.
Going back to their strength in that Cayuna-Doria connection.
Solid hit by Rose Doria Aquino.
Good serve.
Improv, Alvarez. The set for Ishi. Ginoo putting it up. Back to Shola. Blockers were there. Katindig will play setter once again to an off-speed hit. They go to the pipe. Won't work just yet. Lalong Isip will try, and she scores off her blocker's hands.
How many times have we seen that? You just love the attitude of Ishi Lalong Isip, always ready for those.
Take a look at this replay one more time. Ishi Lalong Isip gives her team a 4-point advantage.
Okay ka na? Pwede na akong salita sa'yo? Huwag ka na kasi lumisip dito. Eh, nasa likod mo yung libero. Ikaw ba yung ha? Nagsisimula tayo dun sa misreceive yan. Nahihirapan na tayo magbuo ng isang
Kaya pa yan natin. Kaya natin.
Here at the Phil's.
There's Ishi Lalong Isip, another solid outing for the rookie. Leila Cruz as well, another rookie with a solid outing, but difference is Capital One trying to climb back here. They go to Cruz.
Ball is out.
Ball was out though.
Yeah. Maybe again, we always say you have to be careful with these errors, really.
Service error for Vandy Gandler. Doria Aquino with the connection with Jel Cayuna for point number 16. Take a look at the side out.
You know, that's really smart setting by Cayuno. No? You recognize which are your strengths and you try to go more to that.
Speaking of strengths, Capital One struggling receiving lately. Toromal covers. Too low for Ipak. Cayuna to the opposite side. And she scores off the block. Job Fernandez.
That's smart hitting. You have two tall blockers in front of you. Look at the angle of Fernandez. Just targeting the outer hand of the blocker.
Doria Aquino is looking to go long, but overcooks that one.
We've seen this score line a couple of times, 15-10.
That's 5-point advantage. That's been the sweet spot for Cignal with those leads. Tough back set for Fernandez. No check ball will be given. But they will ask through this challenge.
But you know, Jaime, you can actually feel here also, no, in the fourth set. Cignal's got it controlled. I mean, the set.
Yeah.
Ooh, good call.
I just love the reactions, Noreen, after they win a challenge. Para silang nanalo ng loto eh. There's that energy.
Loto talaga. Bingo naman.
Big. A technical timeout here after a successful challenge, 6-point lead for the HD Spikers.
Bitin na kaya sa games? Watch all the replays at PVL YouTube channel. Subscribe!
Fernandez and Gandler. Their team with a 6-point lead. Capital One, led by Leila Cruz. Can they
Cignal.
find some points here? Try to get a little bit of momentum to start with.
I think the bigger question is there a fight back? Are we gonna see it still? Whatever happens, we want to see that fight back here in set number 4.
Service ace for Giselle C.
Coach Shaq, obviously very confident in his veteran setter. Probably his instructions are take it home.
Take it home. I like that.
Take it home.
Send us home.
Send us home.
Leila Cruz, though, sending it down for that one.
Oh, Buding Terendez actually inside now. Six-point game. Capital One in a must-win situation here in set number 4.
They go improv. Judith Abil with an off-speed hit.
Boy, it's a different unit. I mean, Santos, Terendez, C, Abil. Coach Shaq really has a game plan in his head.
The noise on the floor got amplified, Noreen, when we saw Dorendez and Abil together. Nag-iba ng energy bigla ng game din, even if they're up by 7.
It's probably what Coach Shaq wanted.
Right now, looking for their saving grace here. That's Heather Ginoo who will score.
Yeah, probably one last push for Capital One here in the 4th set. Good serve.
Gandler targets Alvarez. Ginoo this time targeting lalong Isip. Back set. Judith. Not that time.
Trying to get creative there. And a lot of things on her mind before that shot. So yeah, that error.
So we'll see another double sub. Cayuna and Fernandez back in the game.
No more experiments for Coach Shaq. He wants a sure thing here with Jel Cayuna.
They target Buding. 1-2 play. Saved by Cruz. High ball for Cignal. Quick attack for Carol Santos. I'm telling you, she's getting confidence from this game.
One player to look out for Team Cignal.
Polinada to the run and gun. Whistle was blown. Net touch. There it is.
Yeah.
Clear as day.
Her arms were too long. Scraped the net.
I'm really intrigued with Carol Santos because Coach Shaq is known for developing middle blockers.
You want to know the history.
Combination play. Cayuna covers the net.
Oh,
Alvarez with a great hustle play though. Combination play for Vanny Gandler.
that has been their bread and butter. You're talking about Cayuna, Gloria, Aquino, Vanny Gandler.
Who now has 21 points, Noreen.
Another day in the office for Vanny Gandler.
Gel to Doria Aquino on that quick hit.
You know, it's very interesting how she'd ask for the ball. She would shriek. I just heard now she started shrieking. Okay, that means send it to me. Whatever works. They've got different styles, different folks.
Doria Aquino, 18 points. I believe that's one of her highest this season, Noreen, for Doria Aquino at 18.
Yeah. Huge performance by Aquino.
Cunyada finds the corner.
Cunyada, straight from the bench. And I'm loving how they're celebrating their teammates' points right now. Take a look at this one more time.
I'm looking at the bench, Jaime. I think everyone has already played. So yeah, I mean, cause for celebration for Team Cignal.
What a great way to bounce back. Have everyone play, have everyone enjoy.
Yeah, get that confidence.
Just like Carol Santos on that serve. Free ball. Let's see if they go to Cunyada again. Yes, they will. But Alvarez covers. Kinoo checks it. This time to the back row. Ishi. Easy up. Back row Alvarez naman.
Yeah. That's a great play for Capital 1. Maybe this is the final push. But if you're going to go down, we always say you got to go down swinging. Great target there.
Two points away for Cignal. Great receive. Doria Aquino was met at the net. Kayuna back to
Did you hear
Rose.
that shriek that I was talking
I
about?
see it now. Buding. Bump set. Cunyada. Point number 2.
You know what she reminds me of? Ella De Jesus. During her stint with Ateneo, the way they go up, that arc in the back and the follow through. Right? Like Ella De Jesus.
And we arrive at match point. Clemente de Guzman. There's one thing to take away from this game. I think the slide attacks of this Clemente de Guzman is slowly taking into form.
Yeah. I mean, you see the improvement of Des Clemente de Guzman. You love it and you're just excited for Capital 1 as they get better together.
Kayuna will go Fernandez for the finishing kick. Not yet. Back to Jove, and they get it.
Fernandez.
They complete the bounce back.
Cignal takes the third set and the match.
Fernandez finishing things. Take a look at this rewind.
Yeah, you know, we have to say it's a totally different Cignal squad, looking good after that upset in the qualification round.
We will take a short break and we'll wrap things up when we return.
Player highlights, we got you covered. Subscribe now to the PVL YouTube channel. Subscribe!
Cignal HD Spikers sealing the deal in 4 sets, 26 minutes in that 4th set. They win it 25-15, and just a great game overall for Cignal. Like you said, Noreen, everyone played, and that's what you want for a bounce-back game.
Yeah, I mean, they were challenged. We have to give it the Capital 1. Set 2, they played really brilliant, but yeah, it was all Cignal.
And right now, Kyla Castillo is with our best player of the game. Introduce her to us, Kyla.
That's right, Jaime Noreen. I'm with our player of the game from the Cignal HD Spikers, Miss Everywhere herself, Don Makandili Katindig. Don, congratulations. You're one win away from getting into the quarterfinals. Gaano kahalaga itong panalong to in terms of regaining your confidence and momentum?
Siyempre, masaya kami kasi nabalik na namin yung confidence sa sarili namin. And it's gonna be yung baon namin continuing sa future games pa namin.
Well, 4 sets almost felt like 5 sets dahil sa long rallies. Ano yung tumatakbo sa isip mo during the times na talagang dikdikan yung laban with Capital 1?
Siguro yung tiwala rin namin sa isa't isa na makakabalik kami, makakabawi.
Don, they say there is strength in numbers. But the Cignal HD Spikers continue to show that it's quality over quantity. Ano pa yung aasahan namin sa Cignal HD Spikers?
Siyempre, yung lalaban pa rin kami hanggat may opportunity.
Well, there you have it. That's Team Awesome for you. Don, meron ka bang mga gustong batiin at pasalamatan your fans na patuloy na sumusuporta at naniniwala sa kakayahan ng Cignal?
Siyempre, mag-hi ako sa parents ko na laging nanonood, and sa husband ko, Diego, and sa management namin, thank you po sa lahat ng suporta, and sa fans namin, Team Awesome Nation. Thank you din kay Sir Flav and sa Hustle and Groove.
Now there you have it, our player of the game from the Cignal HD Spikers, Don Makandili Katindig. Now back to you, Jaime Noreen.
Thank you so much, Kyla. Well done. She was everywhere indeed. Let's take a look at the team standings now for our play-ins, Noreen.
Yeah, so we had 2 games today. Cignal disposed of Capital 1 the first match in Group 1. In Group 2, it was cherry over next leg. So stay tuned for the play-in tournament to see actually who's going to end up 7 and who's going to end up 8.
Cignal now one win away from making it to the quarterfinals. All right, action resumes on Tuesday, March 11. It is Farm Fresh Foxies versus the Cherry Tigo crossovers for more of our play-in tournament here in the PVL. We also have the Zeus Coffee Thunderbells versus the Cignal HD Spikers. So they're just looking to make it to the quarterfinals with a win over Zeus. And there you have it for today's PVL play-in tournament. Thank you so much for joining us. For our director Al Neri, our courtside reporter Kyla Castillo, my partner Noreen Go, my name is Jaime Escalon. Thank you for watching and supporting our PVL All-Filipino Conference right here on Cignal TV.